y'all, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Angel, aka the Angelic Muse, and I am here, as you can see from the title, to talk about clairtangency. So, if you don't know anything about the clairs, they're just clear whatever. So, I have them written down here. I'm gonna try not to move so much because I don't want this damn mic swishing around. So if I look kind of like stiff, just know why. Plus, Ani decided to pop into the camera, or she decided to pop into the thing. So she's just gonna do what she do. Anyway, so like I said, based off the title, this is just strictly about clairtangency, because it's not one of the wider known clairs, and I don't know. I had a weird experience with it 2 years ago. And my first experience was actually really weird, which is what I'm about to talk to you guys about. It's kind of how I realized that I had the gift. Although I know that we all are born with these gifts. It's just a matter of how much we tap into them or how much we choose to tap into them in this lifetime. But like I said, this is one of the lesser known ones, and it's not really talked about as much. So for all my clairtangent people out there, please let me know down in the comments what your first experience was like, how you went about it, how you strengthened your gifts, whatever the case may be. But like I said, there are a multitude of clairs. There's clairsentient, which is clair feeling, clairvoyant, which is clair seeing, clairaudient, which is clair hearing, claircognizant, which is clair knowing, clairgustant, which is clear tasting, and clairalient, which is clear smelling. And then again, clairtangency is clear touch. So the thing with clairtangency is that you can't really, or you won't really have experiences with it unless you have one of the other clairs that I listed prior to. So for example, like for me, I'm clairaudient and I'm also claircognizant, which are, I'm not claircognizant, clairvoyant, which are clear seeing and clear hearing. Well, that I know of. I haven't really tapped into I've never really had experiences with clear smelling or tasting. I can say maybe I'll smell maybe cigar smoke at times when I'm having certain, and I don't smoke cigars. Ain't nothing over here but weed. I mean, and even that, I've slowed down like a ton, so it's not even like a thing. But it's not a damn cigar, and cigars kind of remind me of like my grandfather's. Like, it just gives me the vibe of that. So I have had instances where I've randomly smelled those, and they both have passed on. Both my mother and my father's father. But anyway, so back to what I was saying. I'm gonna keep focused, okay? So, my little story time is like this. So my first experience with it, I was riding along in the car with my boyfriend. Mind you, this was 2 years ago, like I said. So it might have been 3 years ago. I'm not sure. I swore I had it written down in my notes. When I went back to go look at my notes, I didn't. Like, I keep a dream journal and like a journal where like I have everything documented, like these experiences I go through, but for some reason I never wrote that down, and I'm kind of upset about it, but at the same time I'm not, because I remember the time that it happened very vividly. So I was in the car riding. Well, I was passenger princess, hello. So we were driving somewhere, or he was driving somewhere, and I had his hand, not necessarily his hand, I was holding his right hand, but I also had my hands like where, you know, you can feel the pulse for the heartbeat. And I wasn't even doing this on purpose. I was just chilling, riding, and I randomly had this image pop in my head of like these pale blue or like dusty blue curtains. And it seemed like it was in like a kitchen. Like, you know how you have like a sink and then you have the kitchen like where you can see out? It kind of looked similar to that image, but not really. It was like faded. So I kind of ignored it. I didn't think anything of it. But then maybe 3 or 4 minutes, the image, it was faded, and it came and it went. So I was just like, maybe I'm just thinking, my mind, it just be everywhere sometimes. So next thing you know, I have an image of like this really small dog. It was like a blackish, like Dr. Pepper. Oh my God. Not Dr. Pepper, black salt and pepper type dog. It was like grayish, blackish, white. So, and it was like tiny. I can't really name the breed that I saw, but it kind of reminded me of the dog from Hey Arnold, that little dog that ran away in the park, but not really that, like with the little mustache. I don't know why that's the image that came to my mind, but it was just a really tiny dog. It was like a poodle-ish, if I'm remembering the Hey Arnold episode correctly. It was just a tiny dog. So anyway, again, I thought nothing of it, but something in me, like minutes later, said to ask him about it. So, I said, do you have any memories of like light blue curtains of some sort? Now, mind you, my boyfriend, he don't really get into the type of things I get into in terms of like spirituality. Like, he ain't really into the tarot cards. He ain't really into the clairs. He ain't really into like, I'm not gonna get into it, but he's not into like everything I'm into. So, I felt kind of weird asking him about it, but at the same time, I'm like, he ain't gonna judge me. So he was like, yeah, my grandmother, she used to have them in her kitchen. So at that point, I'm like, what the fuck? Like, I don't know what the hell going on, but we're gonna figure it out. So I was like, oh shit, are you serious? And he's like, yeah. But, it was like when he was real little. Now, mind you, I met him back in 2018. So this is just for context. I just want y'all to know I met him back in 2018, and I don't got no, his grandmother passed, his great-grandmother passed way before, I think she was his great-grandmother. I want to say that's what he called her. Yeah. It might have been his grandma. I don't know. But either way, she passed way before I met him. Like, way before. So, what was I saying? So, okay, so yeah, so he says, yeah, she had light blue curtains in there or whatever. So I'm like, okay, do you have any memory of like a small dog? Like a little blackish, grayish type dog? He was like, yeah, we used to have one when I was little. So I'm like, oh my fucking fuck. Like, I didn't know what the hell was going on at that point. I don't know. I just didn't know what was going on. Because like I said, I just had my hand here and I wasn't even really thinking about anything in particular. Like, I wasn't trying to make this happen. I wasn't asking for it. I wasn't opening myself up to anything. We were literally just going somewhere. So, I was like, okay, let me try again. I was like, yo, I just had images of both of these things. And he was like, okay, like, that's crazy. Like, that is really, like, you know what I mean? Like, so I said, let me try again. So I did it again, right? And the next thing you know, I have an image of like this dark green car. It kind of like a Cadillac, like an old ass Cadillac. And it was sitting in the driveway of like this house. So now, mind you, it took me maybe 3 minutes to come up with that image. I was sitting there for a while. At this point, I'm trying to make something happen. Whereas the other two instances kind of happened back to back, and I wasn't thinking about it. So, I asked him about the green car, and he said, I think my grandfather might have had one. I gotta ask my mom just to be sure, but I think my grandfather might have had one back in the day. So I'm like, bitch, like, what is going on? You know what I mean? So that was my first experience with it, because I didn't know what to do with this information. And this is kind of why I'm making this video now, because I actually have the outlet to do it, and I want to know, like, who else has had these experiences, and like, what have you done with them? Like, so then I got to my mom, and I'm like, Mom, let me tell you what the hell just happened. Well, I ain't say hell because I don't curse in my mama like that. I love my mama. So she says, oh my God, like, she's super excited. She's super, super, super excited. I love that she's like so I just love my mama. So she says, I said, let me try you. So I go, so I stand there or whatever, and then I get her hand, and I'm like, I touch on the same spot. Like I said, I touched where like you can feel the pulse for the heartbeat, and I just like rested my fingers on it. So if any of y'all want to try, so I rested my hands on it, and I'm sitting there. I close my eyes, and I just start thinking, not thinking, but you know, just like trying to focus. So next thing you know, a pumpkin comes to my head, random ass pumpkin. I'm like, dog, like come on, like now this shit don't want to work. Because why would I think of a pumpkin of all things? Like a curtain and a dog and a car are like, you know, they're things. But a pumpkin just ain't make sense to me. So I said, all that came to my mind was a pumpkin. Are you thinking about a pumpkin? She says, no, but I'm thinking about your dad's orange car that he had back in the day, and I used to call it a pumpkin head or something like that. I'm like, oh my God, like it wasn't dead on, but it was like kind of related to it in a sense. So I'm like, this is just some shit I gotta sharpen or something. Like this is a gift I gotta sharpen. I don't know. So that was my second experience with it. And I can honestly say, since I've gone to try, like I haven't really touched any objects to see, because I know with clairtangency you can touch objects, people, like any type of material, whether it be a blanket, a candle, a book, whatever, jewelry, your hairbrush, people, like I said. And you know what, it's giving me the auntie from Eve's Bayou, and I posted that on my Instagram a while back. I was always so connected. I love the hell out of that movie. If you've never seen Eve's Bayou, you don't know what you're missing out on. But the auntie in that movie was Claire. She was Claire. Let me get this book. Sorry, Auntie. I got him. Oh, I'm sorry, baby. She was laying on a book. So she moved from here to here. So the auntie was clairtangent, but she also could see things. So she was clairvoyant as well. And I want to say she was claircognizant, because she would also like know things from the future. So not to say that, because I feel like with tarot reading and things like that, you can predict it. But as far as seeing it and things of that nature, she had that whole thing going. And again, like I haven't necessarily tapped into the clairgustant or the clairalient, which is the smelling. I haven't really tapped into it, but I know for a fact clairaudience and clairvoyance is something, and clairtangency, like I said, or something, or the three that I have for sure, that I know for sure that I could tap into if need be. I do it with tarot readings, or just even with Reiki sessions. Things might pop up in my head or whatever. You know, so I know that these are three that I have for sure, but I just want to know, what are y'all clairs like? And if you've had an experience with clairtangency, please let me know down in the comments, because like I said, I feel like it's not talked about as much. Another word for it, if you're not familiar with clairtangency, would be psychometry or psychometry. Psychometry, I think it is. But that's also like a literal job. Somebody can be a psychometrist. So I feel like that kind of, the lines there are really blurred. It's weird. So whatever. I just want to know if anyone can relate down in the comments. And if so, what did you do to sharpen your gifts? Or what do you do to sharpen your gifts in any way? If you do anything at all, or do you just let them flow and do their own thing? Because like I said, I wasn't asking for clairtangency to pop up. I'm glad it did. I'm forever grateful, because it was definitely an experience. And I love just talking about weird shit like this, because it's different. And I don't know, it lights me up. So I just want to know if y'all have any experiences like this. Please let me know down in the comments. And if you like this video, please feel free to like it. You can subscribe to my channel, because there will be more where this came from for sure. And I thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a great day.